Welcome all. In today's session, we will be discussing the very important concept in Python, that is functions in Python. So, what is this concept of functions in Python? So here, these functions are nothing but they are group of related statements which are used to perform a specific task. And whatever task you want to perform, you can repeat the same repeatedly, okay, and can be called repeatedly, you could say. So in Python, if you want to define a function, so here you could see we use the def keyword. So this is the hard and fast rule that we have to define a function by using this def keyword. So def keyword is a reserved word which is already built in. And then we have function underscore name. So this function underscore name is the name of my function. So the name of the function can be user defined. And then inside the parentheses, these are called as parameters, or you could say even the arguments. And then inside the function, you could pass some printing statements, you could pass the return statement, and much more. So here, this is a very basic example given syntax how a function is defined. So here, we use the def keyword. Then we use Celsius to Fahrenheit is the name of my function. So this particular function I have returned to convert any Fahrenheit scale temperature into Celsius scale. So in return statement, I'm returning the formula which is used, that is 9.9 by 5 into temperature plus 32. So this is the formula to convert the Fahrenheit scale into the Celsius scale. So this is how we define a function. So in order to define a function, we use the def keyword. And once this function, so it says can be called repeatedly. So once this particular function is defined, it can be called n number of times. So now, for example, if we talk about here, I could like to explain here the concept. So now, if I want to add two numbers, okay, or I want to, now you could say, I want to print hello world 15 times. Okay. So here, okay, if I want to print hello world 15 times, okay, when I want to print the word hello world 15 times, I can either use the concept of loops because in 15 times in the sense 15 printing statements that makes the concept very big or the program very lengthy. Apart from this, if I want to use the loop concept, I can use the concept of loop for loop by giving the range or by giving the count by using the while loop. And apart from that, I can define a function to print. Okay. So this defined function by using def keyword can be repeatedly used not only to print hello world 15 times, you can print it for 1,000 times. So repeatedly, I can call the defined function. That is one of the basic use of using this function. So let's see, there are two parts in this function. Okay, so what are the two parts? So the first part in the function is nothing but the function definition, and the second part is nothing but the function call. So these are the two very important steps to be followed whenever we are writing a function. So here we have a function named def. Okay, def is a reserved word, and print underscore name is the name of the function, and then here we use the argument that is string. Str is nothing but the parameter or a string. And then we use the printing statement, welcome to Python, and we use the particular argument we have calculated or we have passed. So here we are defining the function. Inside the definition of the function, we can use the print statement, we can use the return statement. The concept of return statement will be explained in the subsequent session. And then this is the function definition. And whatever I have passed the parameter here, I have to, what parameter, in that parameter, I have to pass something. So I'm using an input. As we have already discussed, input is an inbuilt function which is used to get the user input. And then at the end, I'm saying print underscore name, whatever this variable string is being stored is being called here. So here, whatever the user will enter will be stored in the string, and later in the function definition, it will be printed as welcome to Python str. So in this particular variable, what is stored is being called here. So the output, what it says, if I enter the name Jack, it will always print me welcome to Python Jack. So Jack is being called. So this part of the code is nothing but the function definition, and this part of the code is function call. So here the set of statements are written once and can be executed multiple number of times. So apart from this, I want to print n number of printing statements to welcome to Python. Leela, welcome to Python Jyoti, welcome to Python Jack. Well, okay, so repeatedly I want to do the same task of printing the name. I can use it multiple times. And once we define the function, we can call it multiple times. So I can keep calling this print underscore name with different string variables storing different names. So once it is defined, once it is called, it can be used multiple number of times. So this is one of the very important part that once a function is defined and called, it can be used multiple number of times. So let's demonstrate this particular session in our Thorny IDE. So in order to define the function, I will use def, and def is the keyword, print underscore name is the name of my function, and inside this I will pass the parameter string, and then I will use a printing statement saying welcome to Python course, and we will pass the string here, and then we will pass the return statement. Oops, I'm sorry, return statement, return, and then this is the function what we have defined. So in the string we will get the input from the user, so we will say input, enter the name. So whatever the name is being inputted by the user will be stored in our str, and then we will call the function. So this is called as the function definition, includes the printing statement, it includes the return statement. So this is nothing but function definition. We need to use slash, and then here we have function call. So once the function is defined, once a function is called, it can be used multiple number of times. So let's run the code. It's asking us to enter the name. So I will enter as Jack, and it says welcome to Python course Jack. Okay, so this is how we can use our concept of Python. So in the concept of functions. So once the function is defined, it can be used multiple number of times. Let's see why we use this function. What is the use of this function? So why is this functions used? Because it replaces multiple lines of code. Now you can see without a function, if I want to write hello world, it takes me so much of time, right? It is taking me, I want to print this hello worlds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I have to have printing statement 8. This is more convenient. Again, I can reduce the line of code by using without, okay, with a loop concept, sorry, not without, it is with loop concept. So count I'm giving equal to 10, and I'm giving the condition, and I'm giving the printing statement, and I'm decrementing the count or decreasing the count, it will print me hello world. But with loop and functions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use def print message is my function definition. I'm going to pass the parameter count and message. Okay. And I'm going to put a while loop in the function definition, and I'm going to call by passing message as hello world and count equal to 10. So what happens? It is making my code very flexible. It's making my code very clear and easy to understand. Right, rather making the code very lengthy, I can just reduce my code and give a clear picture about the code by just defining the function and by just calling the function. And what happens now? For example, I have defined the function. You could see print message in the previous one. I have written print message 10 hello world. The same concept, if I want to print some other message like hola or welcome to class 15 times, I want something, if I want to print more, okay, similar concept, if I want to print some message, I can use this. Okay, so the first important advantage of having Python is the code clarity. Okay, it gives us the clarity of the code, and also it gives us the concept of reusability. I can use my code n number of times. I have defined the function to print message. Now I'm calling that same print message function n number of times. You could see I've used it for to print hello world 10 times. I've used the same, I'm calling the same function again to print my 15 times the word hola. So what happens? This particular, the function in Python can be reused and can also be give the clarity as well as code readability also takes place. The clarity as well as how we can reuse the code n number of times helps us by using the concept of function. Thank you. Meet you up in the next session.